NFL Daily coming at you here. Mitchell Renz, Tom Downey. We're going to dive into the latest around a horrible injury to quarterback Dak Prescott. And also we're going to tell you some potential options the Dallas Cowboys could go out and get. Tom, you're the man always running the Cowboys show. Give me the latest around Dak.
Well, as it was very obvious from the second the injury happened, not good for Dak Prescott. Officially, it is a dislocated right ankle and a compound fracture, which means the bone popped out of the skin. That's super gross. Prescott is facing a 4 to 6 month timeline for his recovery. He did undergo surgery last night, and he's actually already been discharged from the hospital. So that is a good sign for Dak Prescott. It means that things went well in that surgery. It is, however, a significant and outright massive loss for the rest of this Dallas Cowboys season because Dak Prescott was the reason, and I'm actually going to include the Giants game too because that might have gotten out of hand without Dak. He's the reason that they have 2 wins. Yeah. And frankly, even with just the 1 win against the Falcons, he's the reason why they didn't get blown out. Yep. I mean, all 3 of those games could have been disgusting, or 4 of those games could have been bad blowouts for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak kept them in it. Now he's out for the season. If there is a bright side for the Cowboys, it's that this is exactly why, Mitch, they brought in Andy Dalton. We'll talk more about him in a little bit, but Dalton was signed not to replace Dak like some of you people out there suggested. He was always insurance because the Cowboys saw Dak Prescott not be quite right against the Eagles, and it was a major problem, and they had nobody behind him. Now they at least have an option of someone who can help them survive for the rest of the season, and in the NFC East, still might be enough to win it.
Yeah, that's the craziest part about this whole thing. So right now the Cowboys are sitting here at 2-3, and every single person that stumbles across this video right now, I want you to predict the Dallas Cowboys record without Dak. You mentioned that they're in an easy division. Their schedule does get a little bit easier as well. If you had to guess, Tom, give me your prediction right now, Cowboys record without Dak.
I'm going to go that they can win 7 games. It's very optimistic and honestly might be enough to win the NFC East. I'm in that 6 to 7 range right now. Mitch, how about you?
Yeah, I'm probably 6 or 7 as well, and I wish I could be different, but that defense just doesn't inspire any confidence in me whatsoever. Now, Tom, you looked at some replacements on your Cowboys channel. Let's go ahead and take a preview at those.
Now, this is not every single player that I broke down. You can go check out that on the channel, though, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Clayton Thorson makes a lot of internal sense for this team because he spent training camp with the Dallas Cowboys, but he's not that great. The same is true of my next option, Trevor Siemian, who has starting experience. If you want a veteran backup instead of a Ben DiNucci, Siemian might make sense. He is currently on the Titans practice squad. A funner and more bigot name is Josh Rosen. I'd actually argue that while it might make sense for Dallas, Josh Rosen picking his 3rd team in like 3 months probably isn't a great idea for his long-term NFL career. He might just want to stick in Tampa and try and develop in the same system. Of course, we have to mention Colin Kaepernick. I don't see any downside to bringing him in for a simple workout. Worst case, he's not in shape and you pass on him. Best case, he actually looks okay, and now you have a better backup quarterback than Ben DiNucci, who's never played a snap in the NFL. And to kind of bring home how not great the options are, how about Cooper Rush, who's bad and got cut by the Giants, but he knows the organization, spent a significant amount of time with the Dallas Cowboys. He was a Jason Garrett guy, but he does know things. There's a litany of other potential free agent options. You can include Duck Hodges if you want. A lot of guys on practice squads. But the common theme there, you're not going to find a good quarterback left in NFL free agency at this stage of the season. But you can find a great deal with our friends over at Fanatics. Hundreds of NFL jerseys. Mitch, some of these are up to 33% off.
Wow, I wish I was able to do that math. And luckily for you guys, you can
really
see
simple.
how great these deals are. Chatsports.com/jersey sale. If you got a Dak Prescott jersey, luckily there's all sorts of jerseys as well. You can get Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey. We're going to be talking about him coming up here in a little bit. And then we're also going to be taking a deep dive into some other players. But go ahead, take advantage of these deals right now. Chatsports.com/jersey sale. Wow, 33% off.
Not all of them, but there's Carson Wentz ones, which maybe they know something.
I wish you would have told me that while I was gone. I could have gone and get myself a nice little jersey there. 406 people watching. Take advantage of these deals. Chatsports.com/jersey sale. All right, so Andy Dalton, the next man up, you say?
Yeah, even if the Cowboys go and add a quarterback via trade, free agency, practice squad, whatever, it's pretty clear, A, this is why they brought in Dalton, and B, they can have some success with Andy Dalton. Now, his fumble against the Giants nearly broke that team because it led to an easy touchdown for the pretty bad New York offense. The defense is terrible. Dalton is not the same guy he was at his peak or prime, which is probably around 2015, right around the time that Bengals team was actually pretty darn good in terms of offensive line and skill position players. You're probably going to get better play than what Dalton had last year in 2019. And if you can get even 2017, 2016-ish, that might be enough to help you make a run at the NFC East. And Mitch, we're going to figure out quickly whether or not this Cowboys team with Dalton at the helm can actually do that.
Well, we're going to figure out real quick if we can still get a little bit of the red rifle in. I have confidence in Andy Dalton. I mean, you got to think about in any sport and anything that you do, it takes time, it takes reps. And if there's one thing that I am confident in, it is the Cowboys offense, because is Dak great? Yes, but so is CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, maybe the most underappreciated wide receiver 2 in the league. And then you also have this guy named Amari Cooper. I mean, they have the potential. And Andy Dalton, I've seen him do it before, and I have a lot of confidence in him as well.
Which is fair, and the Cowboys do lead the NFC East right now. The problem is that although I think Dalton will be able to get the ball in the hands of Cooper and Gallup and Zeke and CeeDee Lamb and have success there, the defense is terrible. The Cowboys' offense for the first 5 games more or less had to be almost perfect in order to win games. I've seen Andy Dalton play. He's not going to be perfect, Mitch.
Yeah,
no way.
Especially if it's a primetime game, and especially if it's at night.
Week 6.
All right, y'all. So NFC least champs. Who ends up winning this division? You think it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys, type C, Washington football team, type W, Eagles, type E, or I think it's going to be the New York football Giants? I want you to go ahead and type G down there.
I almost gave 2 options because Washington and New York are not going to win this division.
Yeah, and
it's between the Cowboys and the Eagles.
I'm with you. I'm going to type my C for the Cowboys, but just because I don't have any confidence in any of these other teams. Now, Tom, you also looked at some potential trade options on that Dak video, correct?
Yeah, people didn't like that one as much, but you guys always ask me about it, so I figured we'd bring them up here as well. If you want to get wild with it, and it would have some issues for 2021, Matthew Stafford from Texas, by the way. The Lions are not very good. They could try to blow it up. But both Matts on this list, Stafford and Matt Ryan, have some problems with their organizations. Clearly, they're not that good. But are they going to sell right now? The Lions selling Matthew Stafford would guarantee, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia get fired. The Falcons already fired everybody. If you want to go Matt Castle style with a backup quarterback, Nick Mullins could be an option for this team. Maybe it's a day 3 pick or a day 3 pick swap in the end to provide some stability at the backup quarterback spot. And if you want to get completely out there and look ahead to 2021 and beyond, you could go with a Dwayne Haskins. I'm not convinced that would be the best path for the Cowboys because by the time he gets up to speed, the season's almost over. If you give him much of a sample size, the cost might be a little bit expensive. And then one that people have messaged me about many a time before is Sam Darnold, the last guy on this list. Again, this would not just be a this year change, or maybe if Dalton gets hurt, it might make some more sense. But if you trade for Darnold, that means you're giving him an entire opportunity and window to see, hey, can he be the Cowboys 2021 and beyond quarterback? He would have a better playmaking cast around him. I'm not convinced that would be the best move for Dallas if they think, and they should think this, Dak's going to be fine for next season.